Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome back to Coeto Ergo Sum, Let's Talk More Action, a series which will have a blue Christmas without you. Last week we discovered who really killed Fresca Coy, and we just need to tell Handy. But I want to pop back into the simulation for a minute to show you a couple of things that I think I missed in the old walkthrough.
Hello again, Administrator. How may I help you?
First of all, since we rebooted Kara, she remembers that she gave us administrator privileges. She already said interactive mode was so they could ask Fresca about Vault-L, but can I switch to passive mode now that I have admin access?
Passive mode is not implemented in the portable unit. Please attach the analysis console.
So they could talk to Fresca's avatar or analyze the recording itself. That's all for now.
If you require assistance at any time, press the Activate Kara button.
And since we told her to make logout a public function, the exit room door stays open, which will be relevant later. But if we talk to Fresca...
Who are you? Where's Francis?
You don't remember me?
We never met. I'd remember.
So playback starts at the same point every time I activate the simulation? Great.
Playback? What are you talking about? Look, this is all very impressive, but I'm ready to go. Can you turn it off, please?
It would take too long to explain. Sit tight, and I'll have you out of here soon.
Soon? What's wrong with right now? I'll put you in touch with our licensing people, but I have things to do.
Kara said Fresca's memory recording is read-only, so you can tell her things while the simulation is running, but every time you restart it, she basically resets to the moment right before she died, which will also be relevant shortly. I know who killed Fresca Coy, and why.
You sound confident. Tell me.
Like I said, it was Deloitte, but Larry didn't hire her. It was Vault-Tec.
Fresca made a parody of Vault-Tec's mascot. Corporations don't have people killed for that.
No, they wanted the location of Larry Slater's private vault.
Why would they ask her?
She was an unemployed alcoholic. Of all Slater's confidants, she was the most vulnerable.
Did she tell them?
She couldn't. She didn't know.
Did they kill her while torturing her, or afterwards?
They didn't exactly torture her.
Truth serum? Is that why the coroner thought it was a drug overdose?
It was a neural interface, rigged to fry her brain after they got what they wanted.
Not to dwell on the torture idea, but it would have been simpler to just beat it out of her. Why bother with a neural interface?
There's a memory recording of Fresca in this simulation helmet. Why don't you ask her yourself?
You've used it? Would it work for me?
If your EEG looks human on a medical scanner, it might.
There's only one way to find out.
Now, if you lie and tell Handy to use the authorization code Kara gave us, Kara will treat Handy like a flash drive and copy Fresca's recording into Handy's hardware, which is one way to rescue Fresca, but it basically kills Handy because her own memory and personality get overwritten. That's actually what I did in the old walkthrough, because Belthan wanted people to see things that happen later if you make that choice. Ironically, Courier Jeff would have been less reluctant to do it than my other character, because like me, he's not convinced that mimicking human behavior necessarily means that an android is truly sentient. And by the way, it's cool that this anticipated the plot of Fallout 4, but I didn't think that was much of a dilemma either. There's this widespread misunderstanding about what a Turing test means. It doesn't mean that a convincing imitation of human communication proves a machine can think. In fact, it's almost the opposite. It was really just a thought experiment to demonstrate that some tasks people in Turing's day believed required thought actually didn't, so they could be performed by machines. Of course, today we take that for granted. I mean, your GPS isn't sentient, but it can navigate and give you directions better than most humans could manage with a road atlas. Now, to be fair, while the Chinese room thought experiment proves pretty conclusively that a machine could pass the Turing test without thinking, it doesn't prove that machines are inherently incapable of thinking. So, since Handy might be sentient, and I want to show you the other ending anyway, we'll tell the truth this time. The simulation starts automatically. Enjoy.
I wasn't sure I'd ever learn what happened, much less actually meet her. Thank you, Master.
And she won't get stuck in the simulation like we did because we told Kara to make logout a public function. She spends a couple of hours in there, so we'll take care of some other business while we wait. And first, I want to check on our finances. I think there's a delayed effect from putting up posters because a few days ago there were like 25 up and we only had 2 customers. 10 have been torn down since then, but we still had 4 customers yesterday, so we didn't lose as much money. Share price is still going down, though. Speaking of which, I don't think we ever talked to Hilly about the shares.
What can I do you for?
I'm not going to buy any yet, but we can get the initial conversation out of the way. Let's talk about the partnership.
Sure thing.
How often should I get my cut out of the safe?
It don't matter. Leave your money or any other valuables in there. I'll make sure nobody touches them.
Yeah, we're losing money, so there won't be anything in it right now, but eventually that's where we'll pick up our profits. So once I do buy some shares, can I sell them to anyone else?
Non-transferable. I don't want some refugee or do-gooder buying in and then trying to tell me we need more of this or less of that.
And I've been gaming the share price since day one, but let's get his take on it. Why does the share price change?
You want the short answer or the correct answer?
I doubt I'm going to get either one from you.
Now, I think that's funny, but one of these days that smart mouth is going to get you in trouble with somebody who ain't as easygoing as me.
Let's see what you think the correct answer is.
There used to be this casino called the Stock Exchange. They called the betting slips shares. People bet on how much money different companies was going to make. They didn't know no more about it than they knew which horse was going to win a race. That never stopped a gambler. The only people made money in the end was the ones that run the casino. Except there was a loophole almost nobody knew about. If you didn't bet that slip, you couldn't win the jackpot, but every time that company made money, they'd share a little bit of it with you. That's why the slips was called shares in the first place, but most of the gamblers never even knew it. Now, since we're running a business, not gambling, the shares go up when we make money, and they go down when we lose money. Simple as that.
So, as usual, Hilly has no idea what he's talking about. But ironically, that is a pretty good metaphor for how most people play the stock market. All right, enough about the partnership.
Got any other business? Who knows what them whores is stealing while we're yapping?
And here's the safe. Interestingly, it's not empty. Oh, right, it has Angie's stuff because she changes into her blue dress when she gets here. Well, she wore that for 30 episodes in the old walkthrough, so Hello. So I thought I'd change it up a little this time. Yep, she already took the helmet off, so she's done.
This is incredible. Thank you, Master.
Did it work?
Yes, it's strange. She's almost exactly what I expected. Strong, confident, determined.
She's a recording. You make it sound like she's a real person.
I'm a little bit biased, but a person doesn't have to be organic to be self-aware. She certainly is. She asked me to delete her. It's puzzling.
Yeah, she asked me too, but the recording can't be erased.
Of course not. They probably played it back hundreds of times looking for clues buried in her memories.
Playback starts at the same index every time. She's in limbo.
I understand. She turned her pain into greatness, but she doesn't gain anything from suffering in the simulation. She turned her dreams into reality, but now she makes plans she won't remember them the next time she sees you. It would seem like a fate worse than death to someone like her.
Couldn't we reprogram the helmet to let her remember?
No, the system is specifically designed to preserve the original recording. It can't be modified. For the same reason, it can't be deleted. The only way we could grant her request is to destroy the helmet. The incinerator would probably work.
The memories could be copied to an external archive. An Android, for example.
I hope you don't mean me, because as much as I admire the woman, you're not overriding my mind. And the stag's mental problems are in its hardware, so it wouldn't work. If you find another host, I'm all for it.
You only get the chance to lie the first time you tell her about it. Presumably once she talks to Kara, she knows what's going on. Anyway, Fresca wants to be deleted, and we could use the War Dramatic to incinerate the interface helmet.
I said that's the only way to grant her request. I didn't say I thought we should, but that's up to you.
Picking any one of those choices completes both the mechanic and the quest coito ergo sum, but it's not the end of the story, as we'll see later. That's all for now.
I serve as you see fit.
Now, trying to honor Fresca's request by incinerating the helmet doesn't actually work, because the recording is in Deloitte's suitcase, not in the helmet, and the suitcase is a quest item, so you can't drop it. But there is a third option. You can actually rent time in the simulation to saloon customers. If you tell Handy that's your plan, she finds your cruelty attractive, but while my old character had kind of an S&M thing going on, Courier Jeff really isn't trying to impress her.
Well, if it ain't my favorite mover and shaker.
Customers who rent this sim helmet can do anything they want with porn stars. And I mean anything.
That's gonna fuck with people's heads for sure, but that's pure money.
That's one of the very few things in New Vegas that makes you lose karma, which pretty strongly implies that Fresca is still a sentient being and not just a recording. But she was a much better director than she was an actress, with superstars like Ginger Root, Double D, Splenda, Lita Lowe, Dom Atomic. There's the Cyborgasm Addict if they want to get all abusive and rapey, so hopefully the customers won't pay much attention to Fresca. And she won't remember it if they do. Yeah, I deserve to lose karma for this. Anyway, see you later.
Have a good one.
Okay, let's go put up some posters. Alright, that's all of them that get torn down from where I put them up in previous episodes, and I have 5 left. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can put one up in Red Rock Canyon, but last week the Vault 3 greeter said the Great Khans were gone. I convinced them to leave the Mojave because Caesar was going to betray them. Papa Khan says they're going to evacuate when Caesar attacks the dam, but I don't think they ever actually leave. You just get a different cutscene at the end of the game. And I hope they're still here because I do a good bit of business with the Armorer, and you can convince Jack and Diane to make a porno movie when we get to that point. Yeah, Regis is in his tent. They're not gone. The Great Khans certainly aren't constrained by conventional standards of behavior, and Lollipops is just over the hill from here. A couple of posters in the Longhouse could attract prospective employees and customers alike. Well, let's see. You can get rid of a bunch in a fairly small area in North Vegas Square, but it's a little bit tricky, so that'd be a good one to show. There are 2 entrances, but if you try to put up a poster near the actual gates, you get the fail message. So if you go into the middle of town, near the common area down
that
here...
tower on the strip, the one you can see for miles? I hear it ain't sealed up no more.
No, it isn't. Put one up here. North Vegas Square is one of the poorest neighborhoods in the region. Some residents might find employment at the brothel preferable to their current situation. It puts up one here and both of the gates at the same time. And that's the last of them, but if it wasn't, there are 2 more locations really close by, one in the North Sewer, one right beside it in the Gray Hotel. All right, by the time we get back, Hilly should have a lead on another pro. Heard anything about new staff?
That I have. My amigo tells me there's a smooth-as-glass hustler all the way from California, booked at the Ultralux and looking for work. Piece of cake, but you better not tarry none, 'cause every other whorehouse in Vegas is in the hunt.
All right, to the Ultralux.
Have a good one.
Greetings.
Hate to interrupt a transaction in progress, but sorry, lady.
Hey there. It looks like you've traveled a rough road. Why don't you let me buy you a drink? Listen to your troubles.
You can turn off the charm. I run an escort service, and I'm hiring.
There's no off switch, baby, but I'd love to talk business.
Describe your experience.
Extensive, refined. Most of my clients don't even realize they're clients. They like to think of me as a lover, and people do all sorts of favors for their lovers.
So you're not a prostitute, you're a hustler.
You say that like it's a bad thing. I wouldn't have expected a pimp to be so judgmental.
Well, if you're as good as you seem to think you are, why are you having trouble finding work?
I'm not having trouble finding work. I'm having trouble finding work that suits me. Gomorrah might as well be a slave pit. The Wrangler is second-rate at best. There's a place with decent management in West Side, but... West Side. And freelancers aren't terribly popular with the big operators, so that carries its own risks.
What brings you to town? I understand you're not from around here.
No, I'm not. I had a pretty sweet deal going in the hub, but I became unpopular with a wealthy and rather dangerous businessman.
Let me guess, you broke his heart.
No, I had sex with his son.
And he was upset to learn his son was gay?
Nothing like that. He knew his son was bi. The thing is, I also had sex with his daughter.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere. You tarnished the reputation of Daddy's little girl.
You could say that. She got pregnant. But it wasn't mine. The blood test proved it.
If they knew it wasn't yours, how could they hold that against you?
Because I had sex with his son and his daughter at the same time.
Wait, you mean that the kid was... Oh, that's disgusting.
You wouldn't have said that if you had been there. Juicy grade A California homegrown ass. Both of them.
Okay, you're hired, Super Freak.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we haven't established that I want to be hired yet. Tell me a little bit about your escort service.
We charge standard rates. You keep half plus any tips. Free room and board, but you pay for your drinks.
That's unexpectedly fair. What's the catch?
Well, the catch is it's out of the way, but our clients have unusual tastes, so it's lucrative. It's called lollipops.
Like the pre-war magazine. That's some very savvy branding.
There was a little hiatus, but we're the original. Nightclub, escorts, the magazine, everything.
I have to say I'm impressed. I can't wait to see it. I just need to tie up one loose end before I can start.
If you tell him here's the address, he will show up after well, that's kind of a spoiler. We'll see in a minute. But I want to hire him right away, so anything I can do to help?
Maybe. If you can talk some sense into a friend of mine, I could start right away.
If this is going to involve getting shot at, you should probably tell me in advance.
It's not a hitman sent by their father, if that's what you're thinking. I just have a friend who needs medical attention, and I can't leave until I'm sure they'll be okay.
And with Medicine 50, you're in luck. I'm a doctor.
Really? That's great. It's just upstairs. Follow me.
Rondo's smooth, but he doesn't do anything quickly, which I guess is an advantage in his line of work, but for an escort mission, not so much.
That's my friend Leah, the girl from the hub.
The one who's carrying her brother's baby?
That's right.
Why is she here?
She was afraid her father might force her to terminate the pregnancy. She hopes he'll have a change of heart once the baby is born. But even if he doesn't, he won't kill a newborn. Besides being illegal, it would be bad for business.
And she ran away with you.
He would be closer to the truth to say I ran away with her. I figured while we were together, an assassin would need to be much more precise. At least I wouldn't need to worry about someone lobbing a mini-nuke at my caravan.
What kind of medical attention does she need? Is something wrong?
I don't think so. Everything looks normal to me. Well, other than the circumstances, obviously. But she doesn't trust anyone, and she knows she'll be vulnerable when the baby comes. I think she expects me to deliver it, right here in the hotel.
All right, let me talk with her.
Thanks. She just needs a place to stay for a few weeks, where there's a doctor and her father's men can't find her.
Another one of Rondo's friends? How nice.
I understand you're in the family way. No pun intended.
That isn't funny, or even particularly clever. Still, Rondo wouldn't have shared that detail with just anyone. State your business.
I can help find a safe place to deliver your baby.
I have one. The accommodations are adequate and the staff is discreet. I don't need to worry about Daddy finding me here.
That was nice last time. Your father's right. The last thing the world needs is another mutant freak.
My baby is fine. It takes generations of inbreeding to produce endemic defects. In fact, breeding two siblings is a common practice in animal husbandry to improve a strain. That wasn't my intention, of course. But to put it in New Vegas terms, I'm not the type to fold, so I'll play the hand I was dealt.
You're still going to have a nasty social stigma to deal with.
There will be no social stigma. The father could have been like any one of the mercenaries or minstrels who caught my eye last year, Rondo included. No one would dare speak ill of me for that. Only a handful know the truth, and their silence can be bought with a few dollars. Or guaranteed with like a few bullets.
I hope you don't mean Rondo. I'm planning to hire him.
Of course not. If I say Rondo saved my life in the desert, Daddy will resend his death warrant. I believe he has better sense to provoke my family a second time.
Did Rondo really save your life?
No, but he did cover me without running off while I killed a giant scorpion, so it's not a complete fabrication.
Well, don't worry. Your secret is safe with me.
The hub hears bizarre rumors from the Mojave every day. Since you've no proof, your silence is irrelevant. Nonetheless, I appreciate your discretion. Thank you.
Won't people wonder why you went to New Vegas to have your baby?
Travel restrictions are like bad for business. I wanted to personally evaluate whether the situation requires rebalancing our strategic investments. If that reinforces my reputation as tough, hands-on, and unpredictable, good.
Your father might not change his mind after the baby's born. He could still disown you.
And leave my dilettante brother in charge of operations? I think not.
Well, security aside, do you really want Rondo to deliver your baby? What if there are complications?
You have a point, but ew, I'm not going to McCarran or any other Army hospital. Even if one of the field surgeons happens to be a qualified obstetrician, which I seriously doubt, Daddy has connections in the military. I don't want him to know where I am until I walk into his office and introduce him to his granddaughter.
So, in the last walkthrough, I only had one option because the places she can stay are based on your reputation with the related faction. This character's loved by everybody, so we have our pick, although some of them she won't actually agree to stay at even if your reputation is high enough to unlock the dialogue to suggest it. Like, for example, how do you feel about the Brotherhood of Steel? State-of-the-art facilities and no NCR interference.
You know where the last of those renegades are hiding? I won't be going there myself, of course, but I'll give you like $500 just to put your finger down on a map. Or caps if you prefer.
It would be cool if you were doing the quest to destroy the Brotherhood if you could actually tell her and her dad would send a squad of mercenaries to help you or something, but you can't, and I have my own plans for them anyway.
I see. Hopefully those plans include acquainting them with the rule of law.
No, they actually involve a Brotherhood of Steel theme issue for the magazine. You could hide out in Novak.
I think not. We spent a night in the Novak Motel on the way here. The town doctor is like a total quack. And one of the locals told me a rumor that another pregnant woman just disappeared from there not all that long ago. I'd rather take my chances here with Rondo.
Talking about Boone's wife, of course. And she would agree to stay with the followers or Doc Mitchell, but I'm going to ask her to stay at Lollipops.
Are you serious? How could your little den of inequity be better suited than this?
Since my medicine skill's above 60, I happen to be a qualified physician. I'll take care of you and your baby.
Oh, I see. Forgive my surprise. I wasn't sure someone of your profession would even be, literate. What about security?
Discreet service in a safe environment is the core of our business.
I guess it is. And I guess I can't rule out the possibility that my daughter may someday hear rumors about a shameful secret surrounding her birth. You were born in a brothel might satisfy her curiosity without getting into the whole "your real dad is your uncle" conversation. All right, let's go.
What did she say? Will she see a doctor?
She's a remarkable woman. How the hell did you con her into trusting you?
It's a gift. I let her see me as an exotic pet to be captured, so she was willing to spare a few scraps from her table to lure me in. Anyway, did you convince her she needs a doctor more than she needs me now?
I know a place where she'll be safe and get good medical care. She wants us to take her there.
That's great. The sooner we get there, the sooner I can start my new job. Let's get going.
Now, if you run, she can't keep up with you because of her condition, and watching her try is painful. But it gets worse. Step outside, and we'll see why. I don't use fast travel as much in hardcore mode because it drains your dehydration meter faster than just walking. But in this situation, it seems like it might be worth it. Go to Lollipops. But unfortunately, fast travel is disabled while you're escorting her. Yay! I can only assume Belthan's design philosophy was all escort missions suck, but mine will suck the hardest of all. The good news is there's a little bit of a... well, it's not really a cheat. It's more like an exploit. Even though she's not a full companion, so she doesn't have a command wheel or anything, she does catch up anytime you go through a loading screen. Everybody still back there? Good. Any thugs? Nope. So I did a video a long time ago about how to get from Goodsprings to the Strip at first level. There are a lot of videos about that, but as far as I know, mine's the safest. Unfortunately, the route's not reversible because there's this one part where you have to jump off a rock that you can't climb back up. So, seriously? Thugs didn't spawn when I was here with Keikata, but now they do?
Take this!
Well, I guess a rich pregnant woman was just too tempting. Fortunately, Leah's really good with her laser pistol. Vaporized that thug. Anyway, my character in the old walkthrough was utterly useless in combat, but I found a route from the Ultralux back to Lollipops that was mostly safe. There was one part where we ran into a Cazador, but she took care of it, which is a lot more impressive than a Freeside thug. If you use the console to look at her inventory, she has a Ballistyle maternity dress. As far as I know, there's no lore about Ballistyle in Koito Ergo Sum, but if you played Mea Culpa or Quo Vadis, Ballistyle was a pre-war company that used carbon nanofibers to make bulletproof designer clothes for undercover cops and paranoid civilians. So not only does she pack a serious punch with the laser pistol, but she's also a lot more durable than she looks. Unfortunately, Rondo isn't, and he's just got a crappy 9mm SMG, so it's really him we need to worry about. In the old walkthrough, I walked the whole way so I could keep an eye on them, although it's not like I could have done much if we did run into anything dangerous. But that took over a half an hour in real time, so I'm going to use the same path, but I'm going to run and pop into any safe buildings along the way to catch them up. There could theoretically be enemies that I didn't see the last time because they only spawn at higher levels, but even if there are, Kikata and I will run into them first, while Rondo and Leah will still be safely way behind us. Getting from Freeside Gate to McCarran by cutting through the sharecropper farms should be totally safe, so I'm not going to bother stopping at one of the greenhouses. I'll just catch them up at the motel. One of these rooms has a crazed junkie or some kind of ambush, but I think most of them are safe. No, it's this one. And it's scorpions. Well, Leah said she killed a giant scorpion in the desert. She was probably talking about one of the big ones. So, like, where did these come from? Did somebody's terrarium get out of control or what? Dude, if you're going to keep dangerous pets, you need to be a little more responsible. Yeah, some fiends and NCR troopers frequently spawn up there and fight, but shouldn't be a problem. They won't come down here. Although, where are Rhonda and Leo? Rondo and Leah. Oh, no. Yep, that's her. Either I got far enough away that the AI pathfinding algorithm picked a different path instead of following right in my footsteps, or she's in the NCR faction and stopped to help the troopers when they got in trouble, which would make sense because that's where she's from. Or maybe Leah killed the troopers so they couldn't file a missing person report that her dad would hear about, and the fiends were just innocent bystanders.
What have you done?
Whatever the case, it doesn't matter if Rondo got caught in the crossfire, and I really hope that ash pile wasn't him. Nope, NCR trooper. Could have been the fiends, but Leah's really good with her laser pistol. Just saying. Totally unrelated to Koito Ergo Sum, but this is one of the places that it's really easy to farm NCR dog tags to boost your Legion rep without hurting your NCR rep. Anyway, where are they? Well, if they were still in trouble, it's too late for me to do anything about it now. I'm just going to pop into the Basin Creek building and keep my fingers crossed. There's Leah. And Rondo. Good. Alright, I guess I should keep a slightly closer eye on them the rest of the way. Okay, I was headed to the rock crushing plant anyway, and we're only like a block away from it now, so we should be relatively safe for the minute. Guys? Oh, she's stuck on a rock. Unfortunately, there's no convenient building between here and Lollipops where they can catch up, and I'd better not go ahead alone, because if she gets unstuck when I'm halfway there and then the AI sends her on the logical path instead of the way I'm going to go, she could run into anything. Like, worst case, there are death claws all over the place north of Quarry Junction. Sometimes they go as far as Vault 19, which I'm going nowhere near, but who knows which way she'll go once she loses sight of me. Come on, you can do it. Whoa, that's pretty impressive for a pregnant woman. Yeah, you see why I have so much faith in the NPC navigation system. Anyway, if you didn't see the old walkthrough, just west of the rock crushing plant, there's one place where the slope is gentle enough to climb the hill, so we can cut between Vault 19 and Bonnie Springs. Stop for something to eat and drink, give them a minute to make sure they're still behind me. Yeah, there they are. There's Bonnie Springs, and there's Route 160. Don't remember if I killed the bandits in Bonnie Springs, but even if I did, fire geckos spawn around there all the time, which is why I didn't want to go that way. There are sometimes death claws down on the flat, but I don't see any right now. This is the extreme edge of the infestation that kind of spreads out from Quarry Junction, so as long as we bear west and don't go much farther south, we should be okay. Well, let's get out the scope just to make absolutely sure. Yeah, looks clear. All right, let's do it. Vault 19 is around there, and I definitely didn't want to come that way. No death claws sneaking up behind us. No, looks good. Oh, no. Oh, Cazadores all the way down here. Yeah, my other character was only 2nd or 3rd level, so we only ran into a couple right around the gully that leads to Good Springs Cemetery. Over level 30, you get a lot more of them, but we should be able to handle it, especially since Kikata's with us. Alright, that's a good start. Yeah, A lot easier once their wings are crippled. Leah, this is all you. Damn. Blasted it right out of the level. Nice. Oh, that's trouble. Don't know who killed that one. Pretty sure that was Leah. You know, at this point, I don't think I'm going to bother going up the gully and doubling back. I'm just going to see if we can sneak by the tribal village. Can't be any worse than what we just ran into. I know. Famous last words. That's the one at the mouth of the gully that gave my other character so much trouble. Oh, you're not dealing with a second-level weakling and a 10mm pistol this time, pal. I'm so glad I made that shot. It was funny when Courier Haley would say something cocky and then fail, because she had no business ever saying anything cocky, but Courier Jeff kind of lives and dies by his reputation as a badass. Courier Jeff is not too proud to get a little help from his squad. Even if his squad is his girlfriend, a hustler who's kind of a wuss, and a pregnant woman. I'm sure the ones down in the village have respawned too, but they're far enough away we should be able to sneak up the hill before we know we're here.
This is like less tawdry than I expected. A bit, anyway. Where can I get some sleep?
You can stay in the VIP room. I'll tell the staff it's off limits until further notice.
That's so generous. Thank you. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm totally exhausted.
Thanks. I appreciate your help. And while you probably shouldn't expect an emotional outpouring of gratitude, I know Leah does too.
Ready to start work?
Quality service, baby. Expect nothing less.
You call me baby a lot. Is that a hipster thing, or are you coming on to me?
You don't dig my swinging lingo, baby. That's cool. I can make like a checkerboard and play square if that's what you want. Actually, I picked that up on the strip. I don't want to seem like a tourist. Unless the customer has a tourist fetish, of course.
Of course. All right, see you later.
You have a wonderful day.
Well, that fella's slick as snot. His customers ain't leaving here with no change left in the purse, I guarantee you that.
Okay, see you later.
Adios.
Since I have around 30 posters up, we might actually turn a profit for a few days, but Rondo's the last pro we can hire, so I wanted to get that done. And hopefully the share price won't go up too much.
Hey, what's up?
Doug? There are actually 2 more pros, but they're not attracted by the posters. They're more like Brett and Geraldine, where we'll meet them while we're doing other things. So let's check on Leah, who's on the 2nd floor in the VIP room, where the in-use light is on. She's already in bed. Can't say I blame her. And over here is her backpack thingy, Mark 6 Auto Crib. This state-of-the-art childcare accessory incorporates medical monitors, a nutrient dispenser, waste removal canisters, a holograph edutainment system, and a gyro-stabilized rocking mechanism. It provides everything a baby needs without a lot of messy human interaction. It is currently empty. All right, I'm going to call it a day. Leah has some of the best bonuses of any model you can use in the magazine, but we don't have to do that right now. Come on, sweetheart. Let's let her get some sleep. We'll see you next week.